Hello and welcome to Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name is Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And in this week's episode, we talk about Magic Key Renewals.
And how to get those popular dining reservations.
Let's dive in. We are so excited to have you here for episode 45 and just living the dream.
Yeah.
We're talking Disney.
The most exciting thing to talk about.
Right? Yeah, what have we been doing this week? We've been
watching a couple movies. We've been having movie nights this week, which is nice. Nights.
Yeah, so less TV series type stuff and more standalone movies.
Yeah.
Which is fun. What have you enjoyed this past week?
So last night we watched Dodgeball.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Oldie but a goodie. And I just remember watching that when I was little, and I can't believe it came out that long ago.
I know. I can't believe we were allowed to watch it when we were little.
Yeah, rewatching it now, I'm like, oh my.
It's really bad, but it is funny.
It's really funny.
It's got a lot of good stuff in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been doing that. Also, our first news story is going to kind of inform what we've been doing the past week. And a hint is my computer was on for 3 hours straight in a virtual queue.
For Magic Keys.
So,
but it sounds like from what we've heard that we've had a pretty good
experience.
Wait, because some people had like 6 hours.
I heard that.
Some people were kicked off. So we'll get into detail with that in a little bit, but
yeah,
I'm pretty happy with ours.
Pretty happy.
So
could have been worse.
Thankful for Caleb for taking the time to do that for us.
It was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast and or Spotify if you haven't done so already. We'll read it on the show. And we appreciate every single review and rating we've gotten so far and all of the future ones. So we appreciate you doing that for us. And also, kind of a fun, kind of related thing, we were in a fun, friendly competition over on Instagram. Rope Drop Park Hop facilitated like a favorite podcast competition.
Yeah.
And we were in it. Mm-hmm. And we knew going in, we saw the names.
There's some big names.
They were huge people. Mm-hmm. Like people
we listen to.
Provost Park Pass.
Yeah.
The
DCL duo. There's so many people to
Addicted
mention.
to the Mouse.
Yes.
Which, yes, we were put up against in the first round.
DL Weekly.
Love
again,
them. Giant shows. Mm-hmm. All great stuff. And Diz List was in there. I can go on and on and on. But there's a lot of people. So we were in there, and we appreciate everyone who voted for us.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we got pretty smoked.
But you know what? It's okay, because at the end of the day, we're so thankful that we were even in
the mix
up against those names.
And whoever nominated us, first of all, so someone had to have thrown our name in the ring.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, we're so thankful for all of you.
Yeah, so it was fun. Again, it was all friendly and stuff. Didn't walk away too hurt. I mean, did I cry myself to sleep? Yes.
No.
But I woke up fine the next day.
Yeah.
No, we were stacked up against Addicted to the Mouse. They have a fantastic show, so understandable. And they've been around for quite a while, so they've got a pretty big fan base over there.
Yeah.
So again, excited that it happened to begin with. Again, win or not win, it was all good.
It was a great experience. We're so thankful.
All right, let's get into the news.
Let's do it.
All right, and for our first news story, we've got the Magic Keys Renewals. So they finally opened up on Thursday, August 18th. And if you paid any attention on Disney Twitter, Disney Instagram, anything social media related to Disney, you knew the franticness of people trying to renew and trying to figure out when it was coming and just any news from Disney. So they just kind of silently put it on. Caitlin woke me up and said, "It's renewals are open."
So I woke up and I was getting ready to get up for work, and it was one of those things where I'm going through Instagram stories, and the Disneyland Magic Key Instagram had a story up. And I'm like, oh, they're probably promoting like Jamba Juice $5
Jamba
that
Juice
they've been doing for like the summer.
Yeah.
And I click on it, and I see Magic Key, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like half asleep.
Yeah.
So when I finally look at it, I click on the link. I'm like, this is fake. Like, I think someone hacked them or something. And I'm like reading through all the Magic Keys. I'm like, oh, and I'm like waking Caleb. I'm like, this is legit.
Yeah.
So it was kind of random that they put it up on stories first.
No, really fanfare, just stories.
So I saw it within like 6 minutes of them like putting it up. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then literally within a 10-minute period, it was all over everything.
So they announced that on Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And then so we had a couple days to kind of prepare our renewal plan. And so they released some kind of new information. It's not all new. There's one new thing about it. So let's dive in. The Believe key, which was the top tier key, that was the big shablamo. That was the no blockout dates, free parking, 20% off, right? Merchandise, 15% off. It is the big guy. It was $1,400. That has been eliminated. The Believe key is no longer a thing with Disney. And they've replaced it with something called the Inspire key. And the price went from $1,399, so essentially $1,400, to $1,599. Let's just call it what it is. That's $1,600.
Pricey.
That's a pricey pass, man. That is very expensive.
Which again, we knew price increases were going to happen.
Yeah, they happen all the time.
But it's when you see that number, you're like, whoa.
$200. That's steep.
That's a lot. Mm-hmm.
So this top tier, right? The thing that replaced the unlimited key, and I put that in quotation marks because of the lawsuit with Disney right now. Not so unlimited like we thought it would be, but this is the Inspire key, and it does have blockout dates. So I know some locals were a little unhappy, to say the least. And it's only 10 days, though. It's December 21st through January 1st. So that's the busiest time of the year for Disneyland. And it kind of makes sense to me. I know, again, if I was paying $1,600 for the pass, I'd probably be a little upset too. But at the end of the day, it could have been a lot worse.
I think so too. I mean, again, especially because usually that week is when you're shoulder to shoulder with people.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no movement along Main Street and all that. So I understand. But on the flip side, like you mentioned, with that hefty price, you're kind of like, well.
I know.
But again, I'm like, it could have been worse where there could have been weeks and weeks and weeks where you can't get in.
100%.
So I feel like it was a little.
It was a meet in the middle situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let me read off the more detailed list here of the Inspire key and all the details there. Again, it's $1,600, 6 park reservations held at a time, standard theme park parking included at select lots, excluding blockout dates, okay? 20% off select merchandise, 15% off select food and beverage. That all looks the same. New unlimited Disney PhotoPass digital photo downloads are coming to this key. So if you have the Inspire key, you get unlimited PhotoPass downloads. It says it's coming soon. We're not entirely sure when that's going to be rolled out, but it looks like we're going to pre-pandemic passes. Do you remember when we had free PhotoPass in ours? Free PhotoPass on our key?
Those were, I mean, again, we don't take a lot of character photos with PhotoPass, but they were nice to have for like Splash Mountain.
Yeah, the attraction photos.
Or Guardians. So we loved them for that.
Yeah. Also, a new rollout on all of these keys actually is a 20% off Disney Genie Plus service discount.
I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, I think they want more people to purchase it. Mm-hmm. Again, like they said in that earnings call, only 50% of guests purchase Genie Plus at some point during their trip. Mm-hmm. And they want that number to rise.
Which to me, honestly, it feels more like more people purchase it. So I'm surprised only 50% do. Because when we're at the park, it feels like everyone purchased it.
100%. Because we're in the standby line going, those stinking people.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what it's going to look like when 75% of people purchased it. But
will it be a Genie Plus line at that point?
Think
it's
so.
just a second standby.
There's like nobody in standby. Everyone's...
Next up, okay, so the next 3 keys are essentially the same. Some things removed, added, what have you, but we'll make sure to highlight those. Next is the Believe key. So we're at the second to top tier key here. The price increased $150, going from $949 to $1,099. So this is the key we had this last year. It served us well, but we'll dive into why we didn't choose this one this time. But it was a good key.
I liked it.
Yeah, this one's got 6 park reservations that you can hold at a time, so just like the top tier pass. 50% off standard theme park parking, so no change there, same as last year. And if you want free parking, you definitely want to upgrade to Inspire.
Right.
But if you don't do it a lot, then this is plenty fine. 10% off select merchandise, 10% off select food and beverage. You also get the PhotoPass feature on this pass as well. So free PhotoPass, and also that 20% off Disney Genie Plus service. All right, next down on the list, we've got the Enchant Key. So this price did increase as well, $50, going from $649 to $699. But before I move on, I forgot to talk about blockout dates on the Believe Key.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so let me highlight those. So I'll just give you a few random examples here. It looks like in October, you've got pretty much every single Saturday blocked out. In December, you've got every single Saturday blocked out, and the week before Christmas and the week of Christmas. November, you've got the few days around Thanksgiving. and April, spring break, so that first week of April. So yeah, it looks like pretty much just insanely busy months. You'll lose out on Saturdays in a few days in that month.
Right, and it looks like there was more blockout dates added.
Yes, than last year.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when we were going through the calendar, I'm like, oh, wow.
They axed a lot of Saturdays this time.
Right, which again, that's a really important day for a lot of people, including us, when we go to the park. Saturdays are key, so when those are blocked out, that does become an issue.
Yeah, it is a bummer. So, all right, we'll move on to the enchant this time. So, like I said before, raised $50, $649 to $699. This one, you can hold only 4 park reservations at a time. 10% off select merchandise, 10% off food and beverage. This one gives you 25% off standard theme park parking. This is new. This pass did not have this feature last year, but this is the weird thing. This is the specificity that has kind of thrown people a curveball. You get 25% off standard theme park parking at only the Toy Story parking lot.
Interesting.
So not Mickey and Friends parking structure or the, is it the Pixar parking structure or something? Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you really like parking garages.
Isn't there a Timon? Or is that the one they don't use anymore?
I think that's cast. I think it's cast member parking now. Yeah. But yeah, so this key is I'm sorry, before we move on, 20% off Disney Genie Plus as well on this key. So all of them have that 20% off feature. So this one has significantly more blockout dates, like a lot, not going to lie. And that's a lot of Saturdays in October, Saturdays and Sundays in October. So you can kiss weekends goodbye in October. Pretty much all of December. There's a couple weeks there you can go.
Which that is what the key that we currently had as of this past year. We couldn't go at all in December, like weekend wise, remember?
Oh, the Believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was all blocked out. I think rather than like one weekend, it was the beginning of the month.
Yeah. So this one, Enchant, you're pretty much, there's some weekdays in there, but that's it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and this one pretty much has all of summer blocked out. So if you want to go during the summer when your kids are out of school, not the key to get.
Which for us, summer I wouldn't mind if you listen to our last August trip report. It's a little hot down there.
I know. So yes, when we were talking about which key to get this year, we sat down and said, okay, let's go ahead and plan our trips for what months and what weekends we'd like or what weeks we'd like. And we built it out, and it looked like actually this time around Enchant would make sense, not only because the price, but also we can work around our schedules, right? So we can get, time off work, and we don't have kids that are in school. So we're a little less sensitive to that summer blockout. So we went with this pass this year.
Yeah,
so
and
we'll see.
I'm super excited about it. Especially we did something new this year where we did sit down and we kind of planned out the entire year, tentatively, of course, of times and dates that we would love to go. And all the times that we wanted to go were available. And if they weren't, there was weekends around it that we could go.
Yep.
So it seemed to work out. So again, with it being, we did downgrade a pass.
We did.
But I think it's going to work for us. So I'm super excited to test it out.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. And I know it comes with a little, I don't remember how many dates we could reserve with the pass we currently have, but with this
6.
one, it's only 4 days.
Yeah. So we're down 2. So yeah, we've lost 2 reservations that we can make.
Right.
But it shouldn't be a big deal. I hope it isn't.
I think they're spread out enough to where it's not a problem.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how it goes. But I planning Caitlin's January birthday trip out. Aww. And so we did have to push it by a week with this new pass. But yeah, more announcements to come on that trip. All right.
I'm like, do tell.
Now, what are we doing for our birthday? Finally, we have the Imagine Key. This pass increased by $50, going from $399 to $449. And remember that this key is only available to SoCal residents. This thing is locked down. You can only make 2 park reservations at a time. Again, 10% off merchandise and food, 25% off standard theme park parking at the Toy Story parking lot, and also that 20% off Disney Genie Plus. And the blockout days for this thing, it's rough. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to be local and you have to be very this is like pop in on a weekday evening.
Right.
No weekends. I don't think there's a single Saturday or Sunday with this pass.
Yeah, I was just going to support that. It's basically if you have availability during the week where you can go in randomly, whenever
Tuesdays and Thursdays
then this
kind
is
of thing.
the pass for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Barely any Fridays. It's a lockdown pass. But for $449, that's like a 4-day park hopper. So it's paid for itself after 4 or 5 days in the park.
Right. And we have some people we actually met a couple trips ago who usually go only like once during the week, and they'll pop in for like dinner and a show and a couple rides with their kids, and then they pop out. So this would be the perfect pass for that.
Perfect. Yeah. Again, if you have a lot of flexibility and you live in the SoCal area, hence it being locked to SoCal people, this is the right pass for you. But yeah, that's pretty much the Magic Key situation. So our renewal process was pretty smooth. I popped on, of course, first day just because we needed to get some reservations for September for a family trip.
Which we did get them.
We did get them. But it was a little scary just because the virtual queue, it takes a long time, and you don't know. They had this kind of scary verbiage on there that you're not guaranteed, waiting in line, you're not guaranteed to renew your pass. And so I was getting a little anxious there, but after 3 long hours of waiting, we popped in and I selected our keys, clicked a couple buttons, paid for them, and it was done.
Yeah, and I'm very thankful again that it was only just 3 hours and there was no issues, because again, that was not the case for a lot of people.
Yeah, I know even like Fresh Baked, they had a problem. He got kicked out right when he was allowed in to purchase his keys. It
was a 6-hour wait. He waited.
Gosh dang.
And then he got kicked out.
Oh, that's so bad. And then I know someone on Twitter, she went to go purchase it when she finally got in after like a 5-6 hour wait, and the monthly payment option wasn't popping up for her, and she's a California resident, and she was like, I don't want to pay for it up front. And so she had to just end up going in person. So I know there's going to be some messiness with these things.
Yeah.
When thousands of people are trying to do this, something's bound to break. But we were lucky and had it done in 3 hours.
Yeah, super happy about that.
Very happy. So that's Magic Keys.
All right, next up we have some new Magic Key photo opportunities that are going to be happening over at DCA, over by Stage 17.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a complimentary photo pass experience that you can get between the hours of 12 and 6 p.m. on August 21st through September 2nd.
Yes, so, and it's a royal opportunity.
Royal, and very specific time frame, very specific.
Yeah, and I love, again, the vagueness of area near Stage 17.
Yes.
Find us there.
Yeah, so if you wanted to join and participate in that Magic Key photo op,
now's
get
the time
over there and until September
between
2nd.
the hours of 12 and 6. So I take advantage of it. If you're a Magic Key holder and you're either just renewed or your pass is still good, go get a photo and it's free. But if you aren't a Magic Key holder yet, we're hoping that they open them up to you guys soon to purchase.
Yeah, that'll be good. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that, especially the day of renewals. We were getting a ton of messages of people almost bummed because they're like, we were hoping that they were going to let new sales go through.
I know.
So hoping soon.
Yeah, hoping soon. Hopefully in the next few weeks, we've got a date at least announced from Disney to say, hey, if you're looking to buy in to a Magic Key, here's the date to do that. All right, and our final news story is not so great news. Price increases hit the Disneyland Resort.
Dun, dun, dun.
Food prices have increased.
Again, it's a bummer, but it's to be expected, I feel like.
I know, they always do it, but it just stinks when it happens because you go to buy something and you're like, that's more expensive than I remember.
And in this case, it was quite a jump in pricing.
Yeah, for some items. So let's just go through here. I grabbed a few examples for you guys and some kind of popular food items on what you'll be purchasing in the park. So you've got a Dole Whip, a classic Dole Whip, going from $5.99 to $6.49. A bag of chips with your Sammy, a little turkey Sammy and some chips, $3.49 to $3.99. Turkey legs, if you like those things. I've gotten it once and ate about 4 bites and then said, this is disgusting, and then threw it away. My poor dad was like, thanks, bud. That was a waste of money. That went from $11.99 to $12.99.
Yeah, really quick on those. I didn't realize how expensive they were.
They're expensive.
I mean, it makes
puppies.
sense because it's a big old thing of meat.
So this used to be a big old hunk of meat. This used to be a hack. So back in the day when this was more priced like a snack item, I think it was like $7 or $8. People would be like, this is a full-on meal, dude. So go grab a turkey leg for the price of a snack. You can have a meal.
Right.
And so that's what my dad was like, let's go get turkey legs for a meal. So we did that, and I did not like it.
Yeah.
It's just very strong.
They're very strong.
It's a lot of
and it's the
turkey.
same taste. It's not like you're dipping your fries or any of that kind of stuff. So
not good. I don't understand. And then you have like grease all over your face and your fingers.
Well, you smell like turkey too.
So imagine if you had turkey legs and then walked over and did Toy Story Midway Mania, and the poor people that had to sit in that seat after.
Disgusting.
You got
Hey,
grease.
you know what? People could say the same thing about us eating hot buttery corn.
All right, my final example here was corn dogs, $9.79 to $10.59.
Okay, so this I have a really hard time with.
Why? Why corn dogs?
Why are you spending almost $11 on a corn dog?
Because
It's gone in like 5 bites.
I will play devil's advocate. You're at a theme park.
Okay, and honest hour right now, I've never had one of these, and your brother thinks I'm absolutely insane.
You are insane.
Because Caleb's family is obsessed with the corn dogs.
Yeah.
And I've never had one at the park.
They're very
maybe
good.
I need to experience before I...
Again, pre-celiac disease days when I didn't know I had it, they're really good. But I can't have them anymore. They look delicious.
They smell good.
Yes, they do. So yeah, anyways, save a couple more dollars for your next Disneyland trip. Again, these aren't like budget-shattering price increases. But again, when they do them every year, it compounds over time. So again, just another price increase. You know what that music means?
Disney trivia.
It's back, folks. We got Disney trivia here this week. We squeezed it in. Chalked it in our schedules. We're doing it this week. We've got Disney trivia. Caitlin, are you ready to go down?
I'm ready, but I don't think I'm going to go down this
All
week.
right, let's see. You got the chops.
All right, I'm going first.
You got the knowledge.
All right.
Here we go.
All right, are you ready for this?
I think so.
All right, first up. What are Riley's 5 emotions in Inside Out?
Riley's 5 emotions in Inside Out. Anger,
Okay.
joy, sadness, disgust,
Okay.
and is it fear?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Great job. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bill Hader. Love him.
Well, we all know that I love Inside Out.
Yes,
So
we've
we're not going
mentioned
to
it.
go into
Mentioned
that.
it a few times.
Yeah.
And the sadness of Bing Bong.
Yes. Okay, well, good job. All right, number 2. Which Disney World park is the largest?
Oh, Disney World. We got an East Coast question
We
this
have an
time.
East Coast question.
I actually threw one in there too for you.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
Okay, so I'll do it one more time. Which Disney World park is the largest?
Animal Kingdom.
Yes. Okay, I didn't think you were going to guess that. Do you know how many acres?
Oh man, 300 and something or something?
No, 580.
Oh my
Isn't
lord.
that insane?
That's huge.
Yeah. Okay, you are like the master at Disney trivia.
Sorry.
I'm like, I'm going to
All I knew that is because the Savannah, that you have the drive. What's it called?
The drive?
The trek. In the truck, and you go
The
and see all
safari?
the safari thing.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's huge.
Yeah,
That's
true.
probably a Disneyland park by itself.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Well, 2 for 2 this week,
Congratulations.
sister. All right,
I'm ready.
let's go. Trivia time for you, Missy. What day of the week did Disneyland open on? Was it Monday? Was it Wednesday? Thursday? Friday? What day of the week did the Disneyland park open on?
I'm going to say Monday.
Wrongo. Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday. That's a weird day to open up a business, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, good for them.
Yeah. All right. Another East Coast question. The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh replaced which attraction at the Magic Kingdom?
Was it Country Bear Jamboree?
No, they still have that.
Oh, that was ours.
Yes. Got mixed up.
Ooh. Okay, I do know that the attraction it replaced people didn't like, right?
What do you mean? People didn't like that it was replaced, or they didn't like the previous attraction?
They didn't like the previous attraction.
That is wrong.
Okay, wow.
People really missed this one. I think they like Winnie the Pooh, but I think this other one is a special one.
Mr. Toad's?
Yeah.
Oh, it is Mr. Toad's.
Good job, Mr. Toad's.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
That's a tough one to lose.
Okay.
We love Mr. Toad's. It's weird as all get out.
It is super weird. But speaking of Winnie the Pooh, you told me on our last trip that the Winnie the Pooh ride in Disneyland has items left over from Country Bear Jamboree. I had no idea.
If you look behind on, on
It's
a wall, it's like these mounted buffalo, old animatronics.
I think it's either entering the room with the Heffalumps or it's not the Heffalumps. Heffalumps and
Woozles.
It's either entering that room or when you're exiting. If you look behind you, it's on that, there's it's like a dark room.
I don't know where it's at. I just know it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well,
Crazy
I
times.
did terrible.
Caitlin, you did 1 for 2, but I did best you this week in Disney trivia. All right, and that brings us to our main segment of this week's episode, and that is how to get those tough Disneyland dining reservations. it's harder. It's harder to get reservations now more than ever at the Disneyland Resort. And that's for a smattering of reasons. I think just because people are now using that handy dining reservation system now, right, and everyone knows about the 60-day window, and it's just tough. And there's a lot of popular restaurants out there. So it's hard, but we have some tips and tricks, some prior experience and stories for you guys to hopefully help you get those tough reservations in the future. So to start off, let's list off those very popular restaurants that are tough to get reservations for. First up, we've got Oga's Cantina, Lamplight Lounge, Blue Bayou, Carthay Circle Restaurant, and Napa Rose. If you don't know what Napa Rose is, I don't blame you. It's kind of out off the beaten path, but it's a hotel restaurant over at the Grand Californian Hotel, and it's a very kind of high fancy dining.
Highly recommend. It's very good.
It's really, really, really good. It's also pretty expensive, so plan for that. But if mom and dad, you want to get away for a just kind of dinner away from the kids, that's the perfect place to do it. It's a little fancier and adult themed, if that makes sense. And again, you're more than welcome to wear park attire, but if you do want to get dressed up, that's the place to do it.
Right.
So the reservation window, like I mentioned before, opens up 60 days in advance. This is important because if you do not log in 60 days in advance on your Disney account and try and get reservations, you won't get them for these restaurants. It's just not possible. The curveball in this whole thing, that's not enough. Disney doesn't, it's not just you have to log in and get reservations, but you have no idea when they're going to release these times, at what time they'll release reservations.
Right, because specifically, which is what we did, we looked up on the internet like, hey, what time does Disney release? Like, what time do I need to be ready? Everyone says different times, whether it's, oh, no, they release at 3:30 in the morning, or no, it's 6 a.m., no, it's 9 a.m. So it's kind of like we didn't really have a basis of what to do. So what we did is we were guinea pigs, and one morning I woke up at 4 a.m., I woke up at 5 a.m., and I woke up at 6 a.m., and I have found personally that the best times to get the really hard to get dining is between 5:50 a.m. and 6 a.m.
Yeah, so the last few trips that you've gotten hard to get reservations for, which have all been Lamplight Lounge and Oga's Cantina, which we actually haven't ever followed through with an Oga's Cantina reservation.
Right.
Just because they have limited options for me in my tough stomach.
And they don't have any like snacks. It's like pretzels.
Yeah, limited on the food stuff.
Yeah, which is a bummer.
But yeah, so the last few times you've gotten up just before 6 a.m. and you've had the best luck.
Yeah, and they go very quickly, which is something where you're kind of like, oh, I have time. No, it's like they're literally popping up and disappearing when you're trying to click on one. So I highly recommend setting out a list with you, your family, or friends, and really prioritizing which restaurant you really want to get as your number one and having backups just in case.
Exactly. So prioritize going in. Don't be too upset if you don't get your thing. Just move on to the next restaurant that you have on the list and not settle for that, but be happy with it.
Right, because, there's certain restaurants that you probably won't be able to get at the same time. For example, like a Lamplight and an Oga's, you're not going to be able to get both of those because they go so quickly, like on the same time.
100%.
So either go in for Oga's or go in for a Lamplight, because in my opinion, from what I've seen the last couple times that we've tried to get reservations, is Oga's goes the fastest. It's insane.
It's blink of an eye and they're gone. So, like we mentioned, don't try and get them the same day. If you're going for multiple days at the park, try and do Lamplight on a Friday night and then do Oga's during the day on Saturday. Spread those really tough to get reservations out on individual days, and don't try and slam your dining experiences all in one single day.
Right. And again, you know what? Worst case scenario, if you don't get your reservation, it's okay, because that doesn't mean all the dining is going to be gone. There are plenty of other restaurants that you can get reservations for, or
great
just do walk up. Right.
Yeah, you've got Wine Country over in California Adventure. That's amazing. That's easier to get. You've got French Market. Is that what it's called?
French Market, like Cafe Orleans. There's so many different things that you can do.
Really good stuff that is not like nail biter hard to get.
Or worst case scenario, you can get ones that don't require reservations, like Plaza Inn. You can go in. They have great salad, chicken. So
yeah, Plaza Inn, the only thing you have to get a reservation for would be breakfast for their character dining. But lunch and dinner is just a walk in, and they have really good food. Our favorite's the Cobb salad.
Right. Oh, gosh, that sounds so good. Next up, I did want to briefly touch on a little issue that we had one time when trying to get reservations for a large group. So sometimes when you have a party over of 6, the app for some reason doesn't like that and will at times prompt you to speak to a cast member saying that your party is basically too large and won't let you get that reservation.
Yeah, and that's tough to do at 5:45 in the morning.
Right, because then all the reservations are gone.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind that if that does happen to you, just snag a reservation for like 6, and then you can change it later on.
6 people, yeah. And then you can always, like we did. So we don't be misleading. So if you have a group of 10 and you make it for 6 and then don't mention that until you show up, you'll probably get some not happy cast members.
Right.
So try and be accommodating as much as possible. Make the reservation for 6 if that's all it lets you, 8, 9, what have you, and then give them a call as soon as possible when they open up a few hours later and just go, hey, it didn't let me make a reservation for this party size. Can you help me out with this?
And that's only happened a couple times. It doesn't happen every time.
No.
So just something to look out for, because it can be a stressful moment at 5 a.m. where you're like, what's going on?
Throw the phone through the wall. Yeah, if you didn't get a dining reservation that you really wanted, so the time came, it's 8:30 in the morning, you go, I did not get it. You can sign up for these online services that kind of keep track of open reservations from people canceling, and they will let you know. They'll notify you that, hey, cancellation popped up for 4 people at Oga's Cantina at 4 o'clock. Do you want this thing? These services are called Mouse Dining, Mouse Watcher, and Mouse Seats. That's just a few examples. We've used one of those. They all sound so similar. I don't remember which one we used,
right,
but it sent an email every single time we set up, the parameters, the filters, and what to look for. And it would send us an email when those reservations would open up. If you want a text message, which I would argue is way more useful, you do have to upgrade and spend a little money to do that.
I would highly recommend the text message, especially because an email, you're not glued to your email all day. And when they do send that email that the reservation is available, you literally have 30 seconds to log onto your Disney app and try and snag it. Otherwise, it's gone.
Yeah.
So it can be a little bit of a hassle trying to do that. But if, again, you do think it is worth it money-wise, I highly recommend getting the texts.
Yeah. You can also use a travel agent. So if you want to have someone handle all those tough to get reservations for hotels, for what have you, there's a lot of great travel agents out there, big companies you can use. You can also use little independent people to help get those reservations.
Yeah.
They'll deal with all that stuff.
Yeah. And then if at the end of the day, if you're kind of like, nah, if I can't get the reservation, there's always the walk-up list, which again, in times can be very helpful, especially when all those reservations are sold out and hard to get. There's been so many times where Lamplight or Oga's is accepting wait lists, and you can just stand there and wait like 30 minutes and get in, which is great.
So you join the walk-up list on the app. So make sure to have your phone up. You walk in the general vicinity of the restaurant, and you can just pop your app open, say join walk-up list, and I think you have to check in with a cast member at some point with the walk-up list situation.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then they'll give you an estimated wait time and all that good stuff, and you can try and get in. For example, our last trip, we tried to join the walk-up list for Lamplight Lounge at lunchtime on a Monday.
Yeah.
And they told us it was only a 30-minute wait.
Which is crazy to me. I don't know if that's just, I'm assuming it's because it's a Monday, but I don't know. The park's packed on
It was
Monday.
really busy. I think it was bar seating. So I think it was because we were both 21 and over. We didn't have any kids with us, so we could sit at the bar. Now, that could be a totally different scenario if we had a few kids with us and a big party.
But again, worth a shot, though, especially on
totally.
these hard to get.
Ask. Yeah, the worst that happens is say no.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. I know it's kind of a shorter list, but that's pretty much all you can do. I know it's tough, and you might get frustrated, and you might not get your reservation that you want, but there's always some backup options. Again, you're not going to starve. Disney has food, really, really good food. Just because you didn't get the popular, hot, new restaurants doesn't mean you will starve at the park. They've got a lot of good options for you. And again, there's always backup options. There's always the walk-up list, and always signing up for those notifications, and hopefully grabbing a reservation from a canceled party.
And a lot of times, one more thing I wanted to recommend, we will check the day before we are wanting to get a reservation, because a lot of times, I believe it's 11 p.m., is it, that people have to cancel by?
11:59,
I think it's 11:59. A lot of times, and a lot of people we know have gotten reservations because people are canceling last minute because they don't want to be charged for that fee of like technically a no-show if you don't cancel in a specific time frame.
Yeah.
So check for that as well.
Good tip. All right. Thank you so much for listening. That pretty much wraps it up. You can find us over on Instagram at Market House Podcast and Twitter at Market House Pod. If you're not following us over there already, I would do so, because we actually just wrapped up a giveaway, $25 Disney gift card, and our new friend Danny Fandoms won the gift card, and so congrats to you. We sent that over, and whatever you plan on doing with it, have fun.
Yeah, congratulations. And again, thank you so much to everyone who participated. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, seriously. So look out for more of those in the future. Consider leaving a review on Apple Podcast and or Spotify. That would just be a giant help to the show and us, and just kind of shows us if you're enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah, but thank you so much for listening.
Have a great week.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.